how do we make your team more effective? I'm going to go to you next, Ryan. And the reason I want to go to you next is because you have been really transparent. You will take reports from your systems and you will publish them on social media. I've seen it over and over again where you're sharing your actual effectiveness, your stats, how many calls, how many conversations, how many appointments set, and you're trending and you're monitoring. And it's been interesting because I've also watched you get a lot of accolades for that. I've also seen you get pushback. But I'm assuming the reason you do that, beyond being transparent and advocating for the role of appointment setting and the need of it, is so that you could be more effective. And not just you, but the entire community, the entire tribe. So I'm going to go to you, Mr. Transparent, Mr. Here's the stats. What have you learned when it comes to making your team more effective?
Yeah, I think that what David said is true about going to your team and hearing, because they're on the ground level. I guess the way that I would phrase a lot of that on making your team effective is using a model that Steven Covey used in, I think it was his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, that talks about sharpening the saw. And sharpening the saw is really about consistently and constantly refining your processes and using kind of benchmarks of measurement to see how you've progressed. And I think that's what it comes down to, is when we first engage with a client, we're talking about the first month. Never expect an ROI, because a lot of that is market research. Even if it's a similar client than what we've had, there's always variables that make them unique. And so we're always about learning. And so while we have goals in mind, we want to completely crush those goals, we take a snapshot of where we are, and then we look at the whole gamut in order to scrutinize every part of it. Is the script right? Is the target right? Is the appointment setter right? Is the value proposition correct? And so all of these things are consistently under the magnifying glass, so that the idea is the process is improving, rather than saying, hey, this is a house that needs to be built. It's actually a fire that needs to be bigger and bigger.